once again, now let's talk more about the pivoting and why it's still extremely important. By pivoting, I can get a lot of circular power. I pivot here, and that's like a door closing. And when I open that door, then I can close this door. And then I can open this door and close this one and open. So these pivots work well for me. It's giving me a lot of hip rotation, a lot of rotation here. So I want to stress a lot on pivoting on the balls of your feet is something that needs to be done. Now, let's go into the left hook real quick. In San Soo, we have something called the roundhouse punch. I was never really taught that. Bill never really showed me that. Whenever Bill showed me a hook, it was very much like here and back. Very compact, very tight. I don't think I've ever seen Bill ever show me to pull my hand back and then launch it. Actually, that's not true. He did show me that, but he showed me kind of like keep your hand down and then step in and punch him like a sucker punch. But I was never really into these big, long, exaggerated punches. It just, for me, it didn't work. It was just, in my mentality, even as fast as I was, I don't think I would be able to make my mark without the person seeing it and backing off. So I liked shorter punches, punches that have just the right amount of power to knock out my opponent. So this hook that I have, I believe has just the same amount of power, if not more, than these crazy wide roundhouse punches. You're going to bring your hand back and try to hit me, that's fine. I'll just turn my body and hit you and I'll get there first. So I have power and I have speed on my side where all you have is power. Not a good way for you to exchange with me, right? So I want to go into the pivoting with the left hook, because with the left hook you need to pivot. And a lot of people have the misconception of how the left hook and where the power comes from works. Whenever I throw the left hook, I don't throw the punch first. No, I pivot on my left foot first. This goes first, this goes second. They don't even go at the same time. I don't go at the same time. I actually turn my hook, or pivot on my foot, let my hip rotate, and then the arm goes for the ride. 1, 2. That's how I throw my left hook. That's how a lot of other fighters throw left hook. I've seen a lot of Olympic boxers explain it to me that that's how you should throw a left hook. And now we're talking Olympic boxers, boxers that actually fight, that have fought, and people that have actually used the technique to actually win in a real fight. Not theory fighting, not studio fighting, real fighting. So I have no problem with people that are in San Soo that have never fought in a day in their life and teaching fighting. I have no problem with that. You can learn it and never be in a fight. And I see some of the best coaches in the world that have never fought in their entire life, but they know about fighting. But those people that know about fighting and have never fought are very open-minded. They're the students of the game. They make sure that they experiment and they have a platform where they can take their experiments and see if they really work. Do we? Not likely. So that's the difference between them and us. And that's the difference between me and you sometimes. So I don't mean to be crude about it, but sometimes I don't want to offend anybody. Sometimes you need to be offended. I don't know. So once again, for here, the left hook, one more time I'll clarify. I turn this part of my body first and this one pops out. How I teach it is I usually have my student just, for the sake of argument, I tell them that lifting their elbow up away from their body is not a good idea, but for the sake of argument, I'll have them do this and I'll say, okay, now just pivot your foot and let the arm go for the ride. And they're going to hear a loud pop against the focus mitt, and they're going to be pretty amazed that they're getting a lot of power. The trick is to do that, pivot, and then let your arm pop out. The trick is to do it without letting your head do this, and this is the most common time that head turns when you're throwing a hook. See my head turning? Not good. When I go this way, boom, keep my head forward, I pivot my left foot, and my arm goes for the ride. So the left hook The arm just goes for the ride. That's how that works. That's how I throw a left hook. Okay, so tactics. Same thing applies, keeping everything tight with the uppercut. I don't want to see this a lot. People are throwing uppercuts, will drop their hand and then uppercut. Whoa, what are you doing? What you're doing is getting ready to get knocked out. Reason being is you got your defenses up. It is not okay to drop your defenses to give an offense. It's not okay. It's not okay for you to stand here in front of an opponent, drop your hand so you can get that uppercut. Not okay. When you throw an uppercut, you kind of tilt your body and you pivot your foot and you uppercut. It just pops from here to here. That's it. It's all you need. You need a couple of inches. You don't need a yard to throw a power shot. It's just not something you need to do. You just need a little bit of a motion. If you have proper body mechanics and you allow yourself to pivot on the balls of your feet, which is very important, you're going to get a lot of power. And you're not only going to get a lot of shocking power, you're going to get knockout power if you do it right. Let your body work together as a unit and not just use just these muscles. You allow your entire body to work as a unit. You're going to get so much more power. All you got to do is stand in front of a heavy bag, hit that heavy bag, try those principles, and see for yourself. You're going to find that you're going to hit a lot harder with pivoting than you are just staying grounded and just trying to use your muscles this way. It's just, the proof in the pudding is hitting something. I don't care if you hit the heavy bag or your grandmother. Find something to hit and hit it hard and find out for yourself. Find the truth for yourself. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about punching right now, and we're going to go right into it right now when we get a close-up. Once again, guys, I'm not trying to be short or with anybody, not at all. I don't mean to offend anybody. It's not my intention. Sometimes I can inadvertently, and I don't mean to. I'm not trying to cause a fight with anybody. If you're offended, call me. We'll talk it over the phone. Don't try to do it over the internet and try to make it seem like you're telling me off so that everyone can see. That's crap. That's not you being a man. That's you being a coward. You're just trying to flaunt your feathers at me and at a safe distance, and that's not cool. You want to talk to me, call me. You want to talk to me, I prefer you to come and talk to me in person. That way you're still not having that safe distance between you and I. If you really are offended, if you want me to come to you, let me know. I'll come to you. Give me your address, I'll come to you. If you want to come to me, I'm very easy to find. I hide nothing. I don't hide. So once again, I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just saying, put myself out there. I believe what I believe. If you have a problem with it or you don't believe in it, that's no problem. If I offend you, you want to talk to me personally about it, I'm open. Don't worry about it. I'm not guaranteeing that I will apologize to you, but if I see myself in the wrong, I'll probably say, oh, okay, you know what, hey, sorry about that. But right now, I don't see anything as I'm talking to you right now. So I'm just expressing my opinion on fighting, striking, punching, pivoting. So from here, let's talk about that uppercut again. Like the hook, it's a short motion. It goes for the ride. The uppercut's the same thing. I told you, it's not okay to lower your defenses to throw this punch. It's not okay. It happens. Professionals do it. Some of the greats do it. It happens. It shouldn't happen, but it does. We're human. We make mistakes. However, when you're trying to be perfect, you're trying to make sure that it's just a pop. Same thing here, just a pop. It's a short motion. Try not to drop it at all. A great example of throwing a punch and doing it with pivoting is what I call the stop, drop, and pop method. What does that mean? It means I'm stepping back, and I'm stepping back. When you're boxing, and we're talking about boxing, of course, you shouldn't ever step back. You should circle your opponent. And circle the right way. Circle away from the power hand. If he's a right-handed fighter and he's fighting orthodox and you're circling to his power right hand, you're going to get creamed. That's why you circle away from that power. A lot of people don't understand that. Going back, why is that bad? Because you're still in his direction. He can go forward for progressive forward motion and then start drilling you. So that's why it's not always that good to go back. I mean, sometimes you can't avoid it, but you can make it work for your advantage if you know how to pivot. And that's where the stop, drop, and pop technique comes into play.